Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Coach E's Mind Games, where we tackle sport topics with a mental, diversity, and social approach. And I think I'll stick to this nonprofit organization until as we move forward. We'd love for you guys to go ahead and donate to worthwhile causes. And for today's session, let's go ahead and support NAACP.org. And I think this is a good avenue for us to go ahead and discuss. I never thought I would agree with Kyrie Irving. I'm not a fan of his. I respect his game, but not a big fan of his game. And with other things, if he's saying that the world is flat, I'm not so sure what to say about that. I think he said that he was joking about it, so that's good to know. But other than that, there's one thing that I like the idea. Players creating their own league. As much as I love the NBA, the National Basketball Association, but at the end of the day, it's the players that I watch. So think about this. If they go ahead and rename it to Players Basketball Association, but be careful because there's already a Philippine Basketball Association. Or Players Basketball League, I think there still is a Philippine Basketball League. I am not so sure myself. And what it is that they're sponsored by company names instead of cities or states. And the bottom line is that majority of the funds go to players. So with that, I like the idea because I watch players. I don't watch teams. I understand that a huge fan base is based on the teams that they grew up with, that their parents grew up with, that their grandparents grew up with. I understand and respect all of that. And that's why when people ask me, who do I root for? I literally root for players, not the teams. The teams are secondary. If you can see from my 2-decade-old poster here, yes, I was a big Bulls fan, but once Jordan, Pippen, and Rodman were done, I wasn't a Bulls fan anymore. So I was a Michael Jordan fan, I was a Scottie Pippen fan, I was a Dennis Rodman fan. And even prior to that, when the Bulls were winning, when Jordan was still playing, yes, I was a Bulls fan. So, but I wasn't a Bulls fan because they're the Chicago Bulls. I was a Bulls fan because of these players. So when I lived in Phoenix, that was Steve Nash MVP seasons. Yeah, I was rooting for the home team, but not because that's where I live, but because I wanted Steve Nash to do well. And then at the same time, during those seasons, I'm a D-Wade fan. So after Wade, and through as well, I'm a Kobe fan too. So it's not the franchise that I am enamored with. It's the players. It's their style of play. It's everything about they're in the basketball court. So sure, I appreciate LeBron James' game. I'm not as huge of a fan of his compared to Michael Jordan or Wade. However, all the other things that he does outside of the basketball court, I really do respect and love what he does. That, I'm a big fan of his. So I appreciate his game. But I'm not going to go ahead and say, oh, wherever LeBron goes, I'm going to be a fan of his. So right now, I'm a Giannis fan. I'm a Greek Freak fan. I would have not thought, oh, I'll be cheering for Milwaukee Bucks. But no, I appreciate this game. So if the players come up with their own league, that's something that I would still watch. That's something that I would still consume. So it's an interesting idea. Because again, us fans, we don't watch. I don't think we watch because of the teams. I understand, for example, think about this. The New York Knicks, they have a huge following. But have they been really, really good the past 2 decades? No. I went to the finals in 99. Good. But that was 2 decades ago. And they have a huge following. So, again, let's think about that. And so, majority of the revenue should go to the players. They're the ones that we watch. Now, in the bigger scheme of things, is it really worth paying them that much versus teachers, versus healthcare people? That's a different story. But all I'm going to say is that if these franchises are earning so much money and only a fraction of those costs are going to the players themselves, I'm not so sure. I understand there are a whole bunch of other costs involved. Having a great general manager, the right people to go ahead and sell tickets, and so on and so forth. But still, that's what we go ahead and watch. Now, things may change in terms of how we deal with sports with COVID-19 and after this. Are they again, I won't think, oh, this owner is better than that owner. Well, I'm cheering for them because of the owner. how many times wherein the New York Knicks fan are trying to tell James Dolan to sell the team? It's amazing. So I think we should pay more attention to the players if we really want to go ahead and watch this. And let's move to a different sport. I was doing martial arts before I was doing martial arts before, Taekwondo. In my early years, and I say early years, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. And there were these 2 guys. And I'll just call one Captain America and call the other one Bruce Lee. Because he looks like Captain America. He looks like a buffed up Bruce Lee. Man, they were so good. It seems like I hear the kick before seeing it. I was so scared. It's so tough, man. I would go ahead and pay money to go ahead and have them do a UFC fight. So it's not the dojo, it's not whoever. It's those 2 athletes that, wow, these guys are intense. You don't want to mess with them. Why am I bringing that up? The reason being is that it's the talent that we are watching. And if we're going to watch or consume basketball, it's the talent, not the franchise. Now, I could be wrong. Obviously, I'm wrong, especially for people who are really following their franchises forever. But then again, is it about the franchise or is it about the players? That's something that I'm posing to you as a question. But we all go ahead and think a little bit more about it. And speaking of Scottie Pippen here, Michael Jordan is an owner now. With what happened to him and his salary, and I understand that his contract is his contract. But the money that he got, especially during the late 90s, compared to other players at that time, it's so wrong in so many levels. So wrong. I mean, he's still a millionaire playing basketball, that's fine. But if you go ahead and consider the fair market value of his skills and his talent, to what it is, something to go ahead and consider. Then again, there's always this debate of players being traded and players should be staying with their franchises. And I know there's always back and forth. What if it's a players' league? How about that? Basketball Players League. BPL. I just thought about that right now. Basketball Players League. They can go ahead and determine what should be their market value is. So with all due respects to agents and everybody else, their skill and talent should be what should be paid. And then they should have the ability to move around, team up, and so on and so forth. In short, give the players a little bit more of control. Give the players to go ahead and hire who the general manager should be, and so on and so forth. Just ask Ice Cube. I think he's the one who created the Big Three. Why not? Give them the players. Now, how does that translate to the Women's Basketball League? That's a whole different story as well. Do the female players need the brand of the WNBA for them to go ahead and play here? Or it's the same idea that we are going to watch their talent. So, I'm not so sure either. I am not that smart enough. But that's why I'm asking these questions for all of you guys to go ahead and consider. And so, though, again, I'm not a fan of Kyrie Irving's game. I respect his game. I respect his accomplishments. But if there's one thing that he said that's sticking with me, yeah, create your own basketball league. So, I want to go ahead and say thank you. And we are doing this every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We love sponsors. And with that, we want to say thank you to our sponsors, AAA Physical Therapy. They're the best here in Howard County, and they provide telehealth services as well. So if you want to go and be a sponsor, contact us at 866-887-7821 or Manuel at topvirtualstaffing.com. All right, so I appreciate you subscribing and sharing Coach E's Mind Games. Thank you, and we'll see you then.
Thank you for watching, and I hope you found this video informational and educational. Please share our videos and subscribe to our channel. If not, my dad will not give me dessert.